Hello, welcome back. Today I am reviving the fashion magazine series after a short hiatus there, going to rural Alabama to concentrate on William Christenberry for a while. But I've pretty much completed that series, save for a couple more videos. But I want to get back to the fashion magazines. Okay, so let's get started. So today we have ELLE magazine, December 2019. On the cover is Lady Gaga. And without further hesitation, let's get started. Okay, so the first image here is on the left. It's been styled very nicely. You can see here there's a damask here, a pattern, right? It's almost like a velveteen, right? The pattern, and there's a matching almost this hat and this coat. It appears to be almost similar to the damask pattern here, right? There's a lot of agreement in the fabric and the damask. This is nice. The way that the hat is pulled down, it's really quite perfect, just over the eye, and it's casting just the right amount of shadow on the eyes. It's really a well executed photograph. The only thing I can see is, right, to me, you kind of want facial symmetry, right? So there have been a lot of studies done on beauty and what is beauty. And one of the main aspects of beauty is facial symmetry. So here we have two dissimilar earrings, right? Which you can tell the photo pretty much is being bisected, right? You have symmetry about an axis, yet they chose two different earrings, which kind of disrupts the facial symmetry. So I really don't understand that too much. Here's for Celine. This is really horrible. I mean, this is just... Let me try to get some of this glare off of here. I'm talking about the image on the left, right? Celine. It's, I thought Celine was really making progress there for a while, but they're back. They're on the skids again. Not doing well. Here we have Gucci, and Gucci's kind of in the same position, right? They were making progress there for a while, and this is not as absurd and grotesque as months and months ago. I mean, they're showing slight improvement, but this is the one thing that really troubles me about this photo. You know, they didn't do their due diligence here, and you can tell what I'm talking about here. It appears as if, I don't know if this gentleman's the chef or whatever, but you have two rolls of paper towels, and it's almost looked like it's impaled his head, or almost as if they're antlers, right? They kind of take on this appearance of antlers. So the photographer really neglected, right? They should have removed these paper towel holders. I think it would have made a much better photograph, but this is just ridiculous here. And again, it's from not properly scouting the location. Okay, I believe this is the same model who for a very long time was doing Saint Laurent, right? I think it's the same model. So when I first saw this advertisement, I thought it was actually Saint Laurent, but it even has the same, right? It has the same motif or the same kind of general appearance, but it's not. It's Prada. So it looks like Prada has signed with, has contracted this model to do some modeling for them, and it's just not working. She just does not have the look. Here's more Saint Laurent, but this photograph really works. Number one, it's black and white, of course, right? But look at the sheen on this kind of satin-like material. You have all these, right? The bag appears to be right? Either a beige or a white, not probably white, but some type of beige or something. What I'm saying is it takes on this monochromatic look where all the clothing and all the accoutrements and such, right? You have these very light colors, whether it's a beige or a taupe or a white or whatever. You've got this agreement, and it really works, especially with all this white negative space over here. So you have just a lot of agreement between the pages. I think it's just a wonderful photograph. So it looks like even Saint Laurent is making some progress. Valentino was in a very bad way there for a while, and they started to get their stuff together. I'm trying to control this glare, bear with me a little bit. So it appears that they're still steadily making progress. This is actually quite nice. I mean, it's compared to what they've been doing. So, as I've said before, any progress is still progress. No matter how small, it's still progress. We've seen this before. It almost seems like a gentle tip of the hat to Gary Winogrand, you know, the extreme tilted horizon. Sometimes I think they made this advertisement as part homage to Winogrand, but it works. And here, I just cannot say enough about this advertisement. As I've said before, if you followed my channel for a while, I've always stated that Guess uses the absolute highest quality models, and you can see here they're not deviating. Look at the shapes of the models, their figures, right? Look at this. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The Guess clearly has set the bar, has set the standard for what a model should look like, and they continue to maintain that ultra high standard. So kudos to Guess. These are absolutely wonderful photographs, just beautiful. Here, Michael Kors. What's interesting about this is also kind of a bichromatic, right? It's just black and white. And what's funny though, what's kind of crazy, is you have this gray background, right? It could be one of, I think Savage makes something like, I don't know, almost 10 papers in gray. I think seven grays alone, and I don't know which gray this would be. But anyways, it's a black and white, right? Everything is black and white, but they didn't shoot it in black and white, or they didn't, shoot it in color and then desaturate in post-processing, right? They could have just desaturated and turned it to a black and white. But at any rate, I think it's very clever because it's a black and white photo shot in color. So, kudos to them for the artistic merit. Tod's is now becoming, Isabel Marant was the bottom of the barrel in terms of fashion magazine advertisements, right? Their photos, the modeling, everything. And Isabel Marant is no longer advertising in these magazines. Like, for example, Stuart Weitzman used to advertise. They dropped out, and their ads were fantastic. They were great. But anyways, they stopped advertising. There are a few, that have advertised in the past and just dropped out. But Tod's is kind of a newcomer in the grand scheme of things. But my point was, excuse me, I'm kind of digressing a little bit. Isabel Marant is also one of the advertisers that dropped out, and they were horrible. So the new standard bearer for just trash advertising is this Tod's. It's just horrible. It's just, oh my goodness. I mean, there's so much wrong with this photo. It's just unbelievable. It's just horrible. So Tod's is the new bottom of the barrel, the new Isabel Marant. Ralph Lauren, this is really quite wonderful. And this is a huge departure for Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren, historically, is known for two things. It's known for equestrian type of advertisement, right? Some type of equestrian setting, equestrian clothing, and the other is nautical. So it would be some type of marine slash nautical wear, okay? So it's always been either equestrian or nautical. Now this is clearly a departure. It's neither equestrian or nautical. It's this, but it doesn't make sense in a way, because this is a winter jacket, of course, right? It would be like a down-filled jacket, like feathers, right? Like what makes a down jacket. But it's in disagreement to the colors, because these are very much spring and summer colors. But this is the December issue, which means fall and winter. Okay, so as I've said before, September through February is fall and winter in the fashion magazines. March through August is spring and summer. So you have a winter magazine, and the clothing should be winter themed to agree with the season. Okay, now this is a winter coat, but Ralph Lauren did it in these very bright and vibrant floral type of design, which doesn't agree with the season. It's more in line with spring and summer. So there's a lot of disagreement here with the winter coat having spring and summer colors and design. I'm just kind of not getting that. It just does not make sense at all to mix the seasons and the colors like that. It's not making sense. It's nice, but it would be much more appropriate for a spring and summer look. And it's definitely not winter. Okay, we've covered this before. If you're going to shoot red, right, the red lipstick, then you want to go with Savage. If this is a Savage paper, it's primary red. And you really, primary red can look wonderful if used properly. This, we've seen this before from Dior, right? They show the bottle here, and it doesn't make sense. Almost everyone does this, every maker. They show the bottle on the reverse, so then why show it on the front? This could have been a frameable image, right? But they've destroyed the frameability by having this bottle in here. And I'm not too crazy about the color temperature. The color temperature appears to be about somewhere between 3,000 to 3,500 Kelvin. And it's pulled way, way into the gold or the yellow. And just personally, right, I'm kind of armchair quarterbacking at this point. But I would much rather prefer a daylight balance 5,500, right? I think it's pulled too far into the gold in terms of color temperature. White balance. Okay, as soon as, we talked about photographers having a certain look. And it can either, there are pros and cons to that, right? I always said there are certain guitarists. If you hear 2 or 3 notes from a certain guitarist, you know immediately who's on the guitar, right? There's that signature sound. And it's the same with photographers. Annie Leibovitz you can tell an Annie Leibovitz image immediately. You can tell a Helmut Newton image immediately. And it's the same here with Solveig Sundsbo, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. As soon as I saw, the photographer is not credited on this page. He's credited further on. But as soon as I saw this material billowing like this, I knew immediately that was a Solveig Sundsbo image. So it's a beautiful image. But again, I have mixed feelings on being that predictable, right? As I said before, Edward Van Halen and Richie Sambora, Carlos Santana, Mark Knopfler. You can hear 2 notes and you immediately know who's on guitar. And some of these photographers suffer from the same thing, right? You can tell immediately who's behind the camera. Okay, we're getting back. Kind of a Hillary Rodham Clinton throwback, right? They're kind of channeling Hillary in the 1970s. This theme is 1970s by the clothing and the hairstyles. This is kind of a variation on a theme. We saw this a couple months ago. There was a gentleman in the photo, He was wearing corduroy. Now that gentleman is not in this frame. The man in the corduroy is not here, but they have different people. But you can tell, right, they're preparing for the upcoming election, U.S. presidential election. It's still some months off, but Gucci is kind of getting us in the mood here with this election, right? This is a candidate, right? This is a candidate, and he's shaking hands, right? Trying to, gather up some votes, so forth and so on. Okay, so what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to keep these videos shorter. I used to sometimes take these out as long as 45 minutes, but I'm going to make them more digestible. So I'm going to keep them in segments of about 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to break here, and I will resume with part 2. If you enjoyed this, I would sincerely appreciate an upvote. Please click the thumbs up button. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. And I thank you for your time. And I'll see you for part 2.